Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final football press conference sponsored by Moe's of the season. Today, joining us, as always, is going to be head coach Atiba Bradley. Also joining us at the stand, the two student athletes are going to be defensive back Diego Oliver and wide receiver Aiden Robinson Wayne. Joining us up first is going to be head coach Atiba Bradley with opening statements.
Good afternoon. Oh, it is noon. Good afternoon. Appreciate you guys being here. To hear final is a little shocking. His season has flown by way too quickly. But just recaps from the game. Obviously, it's good to get a W. There was a range of emotions. I kind of joked with my team. We went from the emotions of senior day to a proposal to a scuffle to a big win. And so everything from happy, sad, mad, it was incredible. But my hat goes off to players and coaches just for getting us ready to play. Offensively, we had the daunted task of going up against a really good defense. They were holding people to less than 100 yards on the ground. I think we eclipsed 100. We hit 120. They were one of the top third down defenses. We were able to convert at about 40%, which is great. The other thing that I thought didn't necessarily show up on the scoreboard, but we were super efficient offensively. We had three drives over 4 minutes, including one for 76 yards, another one for 88 yards. So, I mean, there was some definite positives there defensively. Again, just super proud of that group. We had 2 takeaways on the day. We were able to cut down our explosives more than in half, which has kind of plagued us. I thought we tackled better. I thought we swarmed better. And then special teams to put the cherry on top. We had a punt return for a touchdown. Our special teams outside of the missed field goal were really solid. And so all around it was a really good day. And so we're rewarded for that by obviously the win, but then we get Central Missouri, probably one of the hottest teams in the league. I believe them and Fort Hays are just playing incredible football. They've gotten better each week. We go from facing the top defense in the league to now facing one of the top offenses in the league, led by quarterback Zach Zabrowski. Just a tremendous team. And I think the thing that makes them go, and I don't think they get enough credit, is their offensive line. It's a big group. It's a physical group. And it allows them to run the ball when the count is favorable, and it allows them to protect the quarterback to throw the ball when the count is not. And so just a really, really well-coached football team, one that's, I think, looking to get a W to help their playoff resume as we wrap up the season. So, questions?
You could feel an electricity in the stadium at the beginning with senior day and the proposal, and then it never left. And then you could just feel the momentum building and building and building. And then when Martini catches the touchdown, the senior from Carthage, tight end, makes it. Could you feel it down on the sidelines like we could on the outside?
What's interesting is, like, I felt like, and again, I talked to my team about this, we've had games where the energy is there and stretched. The energy is there, and we just don't make a play early. And so the momentum is lost. The energy kind of drops a little bit. Whereas on Saturday, I felt like even though they scored first, we were able to answer that. We were able to get some momentum on our side, and it just snowballed, and it just kept going. And once it got to a point, honestly, in the second quarter where I knew it, there was no way this football team was letting go of the rope, letting go of this win.
Talk about Central Missouri, and you mentioned how hot they were and everything that was going on. For us as a team, obviously controlling the dynamic plays is going to be huge, but what else do we need to do?
Offensively, we got to convert. This is a team that if you give them the football a lot, they're going to score a lot of points. And the more opportunities they have, the more they're going to score. And so defensively, we got to do a good job on third downs and getting takeaways. Offensively, we got to do a good job staying on the field, not giving them extra possessions with turnovers, and then making sure that we keep them on the sidelines. And then special teams is the last piece. We've got to tilt the field. So when you're facing a really good offense, you don't want to give them the ball in plus territory. You want them to have to work their way all the way down the field and make it hard for them.
On Saturday, after the press conference after the game, you said, it finally clicked for your team. I mean, what was kind of the missing element from your team that finally clicked from all season long?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, it was really gratifying to see a lot of kids see things go right. You're going to hear from Robinson Wayne today, and I'll let him tell you, but, well, I'll tell you. So, game one, I tried to fire him as a punt returner. He was making horrible decisions, just terrible. Like, golly. But Coach Maley had a lot of faith in him. He has a lot of faith in himself. And you've seen this young man get better and better as the season has gone on. He's grown. And so for him to make that play, that sums it up for a lot of our kids. You're looking at a kid – you're going to look at a kid that's a redshirt sophomore who was injured his first year. He hadn't played a ton of football. And so we're seeing the improvement across the board. And so when I say it clicked, guys finally made plays. And it wasn't from a lack of effort. It wasn't from a lack of want. It wasn't – it was just – it just hadn't fell into place. And so it finally did. And so we hope to continue that on Saturday against Central Missouri.
Obviously, going on the road for your very last game of the season. I mean, what do you want to see from your guys from the very last game of the year?
Just to maintain that sense of urgency. You guys know I talk about it all the time. The window of opportunity to play college football is small. There's no rec ball for these guys after this. Some of these guys are seniors, and they'll be exiting. But it'll also be an opportunity to get a big win for our program. And so we're excited to go up. I don't care if it's home or away. We're pumped.
And, with this being the final press conference of the season, I mean, what can you just kind of summarize this year? What has this year really, meant to this football team? Just kind of summarize what this year's been like.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even really know how to answer that. Us coaches live week by week, day by day. I'm sure on our ride home there'll be a flood of emotions as we process everything that's happened this year, and I'll have a better answer for you. I guess you have to come to my radio show and we'll do a wrap up. But yeah, I haven't really thought about it. I'm really just focused on playing well and beating Central Missouri.
Coach, how are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. With how things went, obviously yesterday, I kind of want to talk about morale a little bit. I know we mentioned this last night, but the ball wasn't taking the right bounces. Sometimes you guys were a play or two away, and all of a sudden yesterday, that spark just automatically kicks in. You've got a really tough team on the road coming up this Saturday. What does a win for this program do going into that game?
Well, I think going into the game, I think it helps. I think coming out of the bye week, there's things that we've harped on. There's things that we've talked about that they just haven't happened yet. And so, again, for us on Saturday, for it to happen, it's like you finally get something for all your hard work. And so I think what it does is it makes you hungry for more. I think it ignites you and kind of renews the passion that you had so that you can have more success as we go into the offseason.
I want to ask a little bit about Deontay. We saw some action from him, on Saturday, and he looked really, healthy. I don't know if he was at 100%, but he certainly looked that way when he was making those catches. So can we expect more of that productivity from him this upcoming Saturday? Is there anything nagging him right now in terms of injury?
No, I think the thing I would tell you is that Deontay, Diego, Aiden, nobody's 100%, and I would echo those sentiments probably for Central Missouri. I mean, you're in the end of the season, bodies are sore, people are tired. It's been a long road, but no, it was good for him to be able to get back out there. I'm excited for him to have another game to try to add on to this year's stats, but no, it was definitely good to have him back.
Marriage proposal pregame. Is that the first time you've ever seen that?
That is the first. I've seen it, but it's the first time I've been a part of it. I was actually a nervous wreck because I was the one holding the ring. He gave it to me at pregame meal, and those of you that know me, that's not my strong suit, remembering stuff. And so, it was a neat moment. They were both student athletes here, and she works in it. It's a really, really cool story. And so, The question I asked him is like, what kind of wedding cake are you gonna have? So
Perfect. Thanks, Coach.
appreciate it. Not that superstitious. Look, you look outside. Last Monday, there was a dark cloud over the university. Now we got sunshine and we're ready to roll. Come on, Abe.
How y'all doing? I'm Aiden Robinson Wayne from St. Louis, Missouri. Play receiver. My major is sports recreational management, and I want to go into coaching.
Talk about the receiver room and what that is like, what the camaraderie is, and how you all work together to be successful.
The receiver room is a brotherhood. We got a new coach, Coach May, and he kind of changed all of our lives, honestly. He kind of opened our eyes into new things in life and new things in football. And we all really appreciate him, and we're all really tight in there. And we all make sure we, stay on each other, and, we just all trying to be the best.
Talk about what it means to have a coaching staff that believes in you the way that this staff does, and giving continued opportunity.
It means everything. Mistakes are going to happen. You're going to have guys that haven't played as much, and they're going to, get in games, and they might not have that experience, but they're going to get that experience. And it could go good or bad, but they always got to build on it and, improve on it.
Coach mentioned just this earlier, but, you get the punt return for a touchdown after, you've been working all year, getting better all year. I mean, how satisfying was it for you to, make a few guys miss and, just to kind of take it to the house there?
It was a great moment. I was more so proud of the whole punt return unit. We had everybody in the right spots making their plays so I can make my play. And it's just, hats off for everybody for, finally getting one.
And, you guys have been improving all season long. I mean, what do you guys really need to do this week going to this final game to, just kind of cap the season off with a win?
Keep that energy level and that belief. In the bye week, we had a long week of practice where we was competing against each other, and we started to establish kind of a standard of how we were going to play football on both sides of football.
When you took off and you saw daylight on that return, take me through that moment. What was it like for you knowing that you've essentially scored in one of the most consequential moments in that game?
Honestly, there were no thoughts going on in my head. I was just trying to get from point A to point B as fast as I could.
No thoughts?
Nah.
Saw you took off. You beat out, I think, 6 or 7 guys that were coming right at you from Kearney, and then you kind of just flew up the sideline. I mean, the crowd was, as Bobby was saying, was pretty electric yesterday from start to finish. Kind of tell me about, with this being your last home game of the season, tell me about how the fans have kind of propelled you guys here and how that worked out yesterday.
The fan support yesterday, it was amazing. They were up for us the whole game. We kind of finally gave them something to uplift them, and it was just great to have that energy, and so we can build into going into next season.
UCM is a different breed this year. I mean, they kind of started out not as great, and then they started to pick up steam. They had that big win over Pitt a few weeks ago as well. So when you look at the challenges of facing a team like Central Missouri and what they're capable of, how does a win on Saturday against Kearney, big upset victory for you guys, help propel you guys into this Saturday?
The win versus Kearney, it helps us out big time, going into UCM. UCM is another MIAA opponent. I feel like everybody in the conference is capable of beating you any Saturday, but we know if we play our brand of football, we can also beat anybody in the conference.
Final thing I'll ask you here, Coach was telling us a story about your transformation from the beginning of the season to obviously now. Tell me about your growth and kind of how you've experienced things so far this year and how much you've kind of grown through all of it.
I've never been a punt returner in my life. It was kind of something that I kind of got into once I got to college. Being in the game, making a few mistakes, getting the coaching, but also having my teammates, having my guys behind me, believing in me during times I kind of was losing confidence. It was just big. I was just happy to prove everybody right, prove my teammates right. Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Diego Oliver. I'm a redshirt sophomore. I play safety. I'm a corporate communications major. When I get older, I would be hoping to go into broadcasting and media.
Same question for you. What's it like in your room? Last year had a lot of senior guys, a lot of experienced guys playing. This year it's a lot of younger guys stepping up. And how did the experience you had with those guys last year help you this year? And what's that room like?
I would say our room is a very competitive room. We push each other. We're a young group, like you said. So we've had a lot of leadership that we've had to work on early in the season. We have a great coach, Coach Green. He has helped build our group day in and day out. He has built a standard for our group where we just push each other, work hard every day, do our best to get better every day in practice. So I feel like we're on the right track to become a really great group.
What was it like on Saturday, feeling everything that was going on, knowing that you had some guys that were leaving, and the way the crowd responded, and how that energy just stayed there and kept building throughout the day?
I feel like it was a great day. It started off with, like we said, the proposal, and we fed off that energy from there. Coming out from the proposal, it being senior night, I feel like we all had that fire and that willing to want to win for those guys and have a win at home. Give someone, like Aiden said, give the team and the fans something to be happy about, go home with.
Coming into the last week of the season and going on the road against Central Missouri, this is a really talented offense. I have to throw the ball a lot. I mean, as being a safety, being in the defensive backfield, what do you guys really need to do to game plan to stop this offense?
Great question. I feel like this is a great opportunity for us as a defense as a whole. UCO, like you said, is one of the #1 offenses in our conference, and this is just an exciting moment for me as a safety. When I heard #1, it just felt like an opportunity to come out and compete, and I feel like our defense comes out every week in and week out. If we do what we did this week, keep the same energy, feed off each other, and be brother's keeper, we're going to be just fine.
I mean, obviously, all season long, you guys have improved and got better and better. I mean, what was it last week that really kind of clicked for you guys that, maybe was the light on the head that, we can do this for the remainder of the season?
I feel like we came more together as a team, really. Offense and defense feeding off each other's energy, not bringing each other down, just keeping each other up, staying positive, like not giving up on the season. A lot of people would have gave up in moments like this, but I feel like, with having the coaches that we have and us being the team that we are, we stayed together, and we brought a win home. So that was something big for us as a team, and I feel like this is something we can build off of to finish off this season and going into next season.
What's going on?
How you doing?
How are you? Tell me a little bit about, I guess, UCM and some of the challenges that they present, obviously, with their quarterback being a young man that throws for 400-plus each game. He Harlem Hill winner. He's got a lot of, talent and success in the past. So tell me what you guys are kind of doing to prepare and what challenges you expect.
So like you said, he is a great quarterback. I would say he's a smart quarterback. He makes a lot of decisions that a lot of quarterbacks in this league don't make. He's a smart quarterback. He transitions well. He gets the ball out quick. It seems like he has the offense in check, really. He knows how to call the ball at the line. I feel like as a defense, we have to communicate. We have to talk. And if we don't, then we'll have trouble because he is a smart quarterback. He reads defenses pretty well. So I feel like the skies will be a big part of our defense this week and, keeping him off his edge and, just competing, coming out and competing as a defense as a whole. Like I said, feeding off our energy from Kearney and, just coming in ready to compete, not slowing down, keeping our foot on the gas.
Going off of that, I mean, Reagan gave you guys some fits early on, the quarterback for the Lopers, but you guys adjusted very nicely, especially in that second half, and you really were able to contain him well and get him kind of off kilter a little bit. I kind of want to talk about, I would say, the success that you guys had on Saturday and how essentially do you guys feed off of that into UCM? How does that make it a little bit easier for you to come out in Warrensburg and get a victory there?
Great question. So I really believe that in total that we have to come together as a defense. Like I said, we have to communicate well and continue to build off our week from Kearney. One thing I can say about us as a defense in Kearney is we communicated. We built off each other. We made a lot of big plays that we were missing earlier in the season, and a lot of guys as a team, we worked together. We communicated. Guys in the back end were talking to each other like we haven't before. And I say going into the next week, we have to keep communicating, being your brother's keeper, and that means having each other's backs week in and week out. And that goes for the offense and defense. Like you said, they came out and scored. Offense had our backs and came back and scored back. So we was like, you know what? We're in this game. Now we just have to keep playing, keep stacking days, keep growing. And I feel like the difference between Kearney and the weeks before is that we had that, like you said, that started the game, that mentality that we can win, we want to win, and now let's go win. So I feel like if we keep that mentality going into the UCM, we'll be just fine. And I feel like this is a great opportunity for our defense, so I'm excited.
Final thing I'll ask you here. Through all the, positives and then the hardships this year, it's been, kind of back and forth with a lot of different victories, and, morally, morale-wise, it's gone up and down, back and forth, all that sort of thing. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from this season so far, and obviously leading up to the final game?
The biggest thing I can say I learned from this season is belief system. That's something my coach, Coach Green, has instilled in us as a group is belief. Each week, and week in, week out, he would preach belief. He never gave up on us as a group. He came in and coached us like we were 9-0, I swear. So it just helped us build it. I was really excited that we were able to show him, give him a win as well. We were all excited as a back end. We finally all brought it together. So I feel like we keep this going and going into practice, have a great week of practice. Like Aiden said, the bye week we competed with each other, and it made us a lot better. That bye week gave us a lot of confidence that we needed to go into and beat Kearney. So against UCM, I feel like we can keep growing this week, have a great week of practice, and we have a great chance to compete with these guys.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.